Alright, Schlockmeister fans, I watched God's Bloody Acre, and I'm going to watch the other one on this Blu-ray. It's called So Sad About Gloria. No clue what it is. Let's check it out. We're in a mental hospital.
You know what I mean? How do I act?
Look, you're making a big thing out of this. Just be natural. Act yourself. Gloria is perfectly aware of her condition. Generally, her condition is perfectly normal.
That's Gloria's uncle who's getting her out of this hospital.
Advise you to protect her from financial matters. You know she's extremely sensitive about her wealth. She sees wealth as a thief, an intruder on her personal identity.
She's arrived home, and as you may have heard, she's wealthy, very wealthy.
I think I'll walk around a bit.
Oh? I'll get inside.
So they have a giant estate, and the uncle there is the executor to her estate, or in charge of the estate, I should say. Well, she keeps having these visions of a man with an axe. That's the man, and that's his axe. That looks like a chained-up coffin. But speaking of a man with an axe, there appears to be one heading towards her house. And now that man has arrived to the house. Now this might be a flashback. Eventually, that guy does kill her.
Metropolitan Criminal Investigation Division says that after 5 months, no leads have developed in the much-publicized, brutal axe slaying of Linda Gaines. Public Information Officer Charles Malloy says the division is still conducting an intensive investigation.
That's a man in a tree. His name is Chris.
Hi. You look like a girl who's never met a man in a tree before.
So, the two of them then start a romance, and they're both up the tree now. Now here's the police investigating some noise at the house. Ran out. The police don't catch the guy, but as they leave, is that him? Who is that?
For you to be my wife, I think we ought to get married.
6 months, but don't worry. She's as clean as a whistle.
They're going to move in to the murder house.
Nobody's lived there since the murder.
Murder?
Well, now.
There are other houses.
Look, Chris, you can't protect me forever. Besides, I don't need protection.
Well, one night she gets scared. She hears things. She hears music. She keeps seeing the Axeman in her images. One day she looks out the window and she actually does see a man with an axe. But it's not what you think.
I figured I was Jack the Ripper.
What the hell do you want, Ballinger?
Just thought I'd chop some logs. Cold night's coming on.
Thank you, Mr. Ballinger. It's like a music box.
She's hearing the music again, but her husband doesn't hear it at all.
Oh, Chris, you must hear it.
Baby, there's no music. Sorry I got you up so early, but I made a decision last night. I think we should leave this house. It was unfair to bring you here. I just wasn't thinking.
She continues to see images of the Axeman. This is that guy who was chopping wood.
My husband wouldn't like it if he knew you were in the house.
I'm sorry, too.
She thinks she's losing her mind again.
Can't you please hurry? No, I'm not all right. I need you. Why did you have to bring till the night of all night?
And then the Axeman cometh. Axeman runs downstairs and meets Uncle Fred. It's Chris, her husband.
It's done.
Where is she?
Upstairs, in the bedroom. She's in another world now. I doubt if she feels any pain.
Let the reward all that money. All my life I've dreamed and thought about all that money, and now I don't want it. I don't want any part of it. You take it. It's legally yours anyway. You take it. You diabolical, sadistic, no good son of a bitch. You take it.
Then I really don't need you anymore.
Back to the nut house for Gloria.
Of course we'll try. But I'd be deceiving you if we gave you any hope. I fully expect that Gloria will be here for the rest of her life. I'm sorry.
Item. The prosecuting attorney's office announced this afternoon that the brutal murder of Frederick Willman was apparently committed by his niece, former Gloria Willman. Miss Willman has a history of mental disorders.
Chris goes back to the house to tie up a few loose ends, and all of a sudden an axe-wielding maniac shows up. And that's our film. Now, was that the Axeman who killed somebody months earlier? Was it Uncle Fred? Who the hell knows? Alright, let's talk about So Sad About Gloria, a movie I'd never heard of before until picking up this Blu-ray. This is a double Blu-ray here with God's Bloody Acre, put out by Dark Force. Now, I believe Code Red put out a DVD years ago with these two movies on there as well. So, is there a connection between Dark Force and Code Red? I'm guessing there is, but I don't know what exactly that is. But anyway, the movie itself. Stars a woman named Laurie Saunders. She plays Gloria. She's been in a mental institution, I think, for a number of years, and now she's getting out. She looks like she's youngish, maybe in her mid-20s. Early 20s, I'm not sure. But she has money, and her family lives on a wealthy estate. She's inherited all of this, so she has a nice estate to go back to, and her uncle comes to pick her up, and they move back home. Now, once she gets back home, she keeps having these mental images of an axe man, a guy with an axe. He keeps smashing his axe at this coffin with some chains on it. Then later on, there's another image of a guy with an axe killing somebody, a woman. Although the actress, I think, was the same actress who played Gloria in the house, in this other house, and killing her with an axe, killing her, bloody mess. Apparently, that killer was never found. Well, anyway, Gloria keeps having these weird images of this axe man. She starts thinking maybe she's going crazy. She starts hearing this music box song, this little children's rhyme, or it's not really a rhyme, it's just instrumental, but nobody else can hear it. Anyway, she's out on a horse one day, and she meets this guy named Chris, who's in a tree of all places. And the two of them hit it off. They start a romance, and then he eventually proposes to her. They get married, and they move into the house, a different house, the house where this murder had taken place a few months earlier that had been unsolved. Or it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years earlier, actually, that was unsolved. And when she's in this house, she continues to have these weird images and nightmares and everything else. So is she going crazy, or is something really happening? Who knows? Ultimately, there's a scene near the end where a guy bursts in with an axe and is attacking her with the axe. Doesn't actually chop her, but chops some furniture and stuff around her. It's a guy with this great big head. And then the woman, Gloria, panics and is screaming. She's out of her mind. The guy leaves, goes downstairs, takes off the mask. It's a mask, and the uncle there, Gloria's uncle, is there, and he says, well, I did it. She's out of her mind now. So basically, this was all a coup to try to get her crazy, to put her back in the institution, so I guess they could get her money, or the uncle could get her money. I don't know. Anyway, so she is put back in the mental institution, and the doctor says she'll probably be here for life. And then one of the last scenes in the movie is her husband, I guess, goes back to the house, and we see a tape recorder in the basement. I didn't show you that scene, but he has a tape recorder. He presses play on that, and the music plays. So that's how the sound was being carried through the house, I guess. He kept saying, I can't hear anything, but Gloria obviously could. And then all of a sudden, from behind him, a guy with an axe comes and presumably kills him. That's how our movie ends. Now, I guess that is probably the axe killer from 2 years earlier who was never caught. I don't know, but all of a sudden, he decided to show up. Oh, I also forgot to mention, after he scared his wife to death and came downstairs and talked to the uncle had regrets and said, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And Chris, the husband, was like, well, I guess I no longer need you. And he chopped up Uncle Fred. So, but the police blamed it on Gloria because they thought she was out of her mind. So, but anyway, that's how our movie ends. So, anyway, it was an okay film. It was a little slow here and there. It's 88 minutes long, no nudity. Almost, though. We had a side boob from one of the actresses, Laurie Saunders. And that's pretty much it, It was more of a drama thriller type, although that first scene, the killing, was pretty gory. There was a lot of blood in that scene, but it's not a bad movie, and yeah, it's okay. So anyway, that is So Sad About Gloria. Now, the film print version here is actually pretty darn good, if you ask me. Everything looked pretty bright and vibrant, and colors were good. Definitely better looking than God's Bloody Acre was, that's for sure. So anyway, that's So Sad About Gloria, a strange little relic from the 70s. Curious if anybody else has seen it. Leave some comments and let me know. Watch it. Bye.